Oh my gosh. It is possible for Peterbot to lose. Arguably one of the most iconic streaks in Fortnite history has just ended by none other than Clix, Eomzo, and Higgs. Honestly, didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it was possible. I'll be the first one to admit it right now. I did not see this coming. This is about to be one of the craziest videos I have ever done. Before this video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. As we try to upload daily competitive content for you guys, please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. Follow me on my Twitch, linked in the description down below, because we watched this entire tournament over there and we're going to be watching all of FNCS there as well. Without further ado though, I'm not here to waste your guys' time. Let's talk about the insane performance that the trio of Clix, Eomzo, and Higgs have just put up in the last Cash Cup of the season. So yes, the historic streak of Peterbot winning every single Cash Cup for over 5 months now is officially over. And of course, it is to the hands of none other than Clix, finishing with 398 points, not winning a single game today, but finished with the best consistency, getting an average placement of 4.3. Now, if you look at their match history, just an absolute masterclass this trio put on today, getting a 6 elimination second, 7 elimination 8th, 9 elimination 4th, 9 elimination 4th, 8 elimination 5th, and a 7 elimination 3rd. Did not have a single game outside of the top 10. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna take a lot more than this to stop Peterbot, and I guess you could technically say there is an asterisk if you want to put it on this tournament, because Peterbot crashed in game 5 and did not get to play any of that game out, and then cold crashed in game 6. My philosophy has always been though, things happen and a win is a win at the end of the day. Does this make me any less confident in Peterbot's trio? Not really, to be honest, but I'm not just gonna sit up here and like discredit Clix or anything because of something that happened that was fully out of his control. Like, he didn't make Peterbot and cold crash or anything, you know. If you want to put an asterisk on it, that is up to you, but I am here to celebrate the winners, and the winner of today, the very final Cash Cup winner of the season, was of course Clix. Second place though was Ritual Code and Peterbot. They finished with 326 points, so they were still 72 whole points behind Clix's trio. They won 1 out of these 6 games today and still finished with the most amount of elims, getting 50 total elims. Their match history today was an 8 elimination 3rd, 6 elimination 6th, 23 elimination win, and then Peterbot kind of sold the next game where they got a 1 elimination 24th, and then Peterbot crashed in the next game where they got a 2 elimination 27th, and then cold crashed in the very last game where they got a 10 elimination 9th. Again, I'm not trying to like defend like Peterbot or anything here, saying that like they would have won if they didn't crash. Things happen all the time in Fortnite that are out of your control, and I do still think they are the best team on NA, but I'm not just gonna sit up here and make excuses for them when it just wasn't enough at the end of the day. Third place was Aegis for Acorn and Poyo. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am honestly very surprised they even finished top 3. If you look at their match history, it was a 3 elimination 11th, 10 elimination win, 11 elimination 10th, 2 elimination 20th, 0 elimination 28th, and then a 13 elimination win in their very final game to bring them back inside of that top 3. I think the top 3 is just the far and away the 3 best teams on all of NA. I feel like it's kind of hard to even make an argument to wanting to put anybody else there. The only thing I might be a little bit concerned about with Poyo's trio is that Bucky has been going for drum gun every single game, and so that does lead to some awkward fights, but sometimes between Poyo and Bucky's trio, where occasionally they are just getting cleaned up, and I'm not 100% sure how that is actually going to affect FNCS, but I think Acorn does want the drum gun, so either Bucky's gonna have to give it up or they are going to be fighting every single game. Fourth place is Yapto, Curly, and Rise on 254. Pretty good showing for this new trio. It does kind of go back to what I was saying though, is whether they're playing with Curly or they're playing with Muzz, I think their ceiling is a top 4 either way, so it doesn't really change too much for me. Fifth place is another brand new trio of Rapid, Booga, and Threats. I'm very curious to what these guys are actually going to end up doing. Would Booga and Threats rather play with Rapid or Craze? I think Craze is more of that just like traditional fragger that he can help them out more, especially in a grand finals where kills are just worth so much. But Rapid also has a lot more of that experience. He's already placed 2nd place in a grand finals before, so I am very curious to see what Booga's actually going to do. 6th place is a very underrated trio of Liam, Freeze, and Ozone. 7th is another brand new trio of Kanata, Bolt, and Sphinx. I mean, this could be considered as a little bit of a disappointing day from them. They were completely uncontested this tournament. They had 3 games inside the top 5, and then every other game was like a 21st, 10th, and a 23rd. third. I don't think they really showed their full potential in this tournament, but I don't think they're gonna like split up or anything either. 8th place was an EU trio of Fido, Cringe, and Zynox. 9th place was another EU trio of Seti, Hari, and Cammy. And then rounding out the top 10 was Muzz, Reet, and Cooper on 180 points while being contested. This is another trio that I am very curious on if they're going to stick or split. I feel like we are not really gonna know their full potential until they are uncontested in the tournament though, and they were conned 6 out of 6 games by Shadow, Curve, and Tyler, and I think the off spawn score was like 3-1 to Muzz. We only had a couple of big names outside of that top 10, like 13th place of Shadow, Curve, and Tyler on 168, the NA West FNCS winners of Baka, Pars, and Pump in 14th, Bucky, Okus, and Cam in 18th, G Money, Virgo, and Osid in 22nd, and that was honestly about it. Oh yeah, and we also had Queasy in 32nd, and he had a very funny clip where he was getting griefed by the AIs, so I want to show that clip real quick.
No, but why did it actually do that?
Let's take a look at the final kin stats now. Starting off with in 10th place, getting 4,848 was Muzz, 9th was Dozier, 8th was Ager, 7th was Poyo, 6th was Fido. Going into the top 5, we have two of the trio mates of Clix in 5th, getting 5,641, 4th of Eomzo, 3rd place of Peterbot, 2nd of Cold, and then in 1st place with 7,244 was Threats. Am I worried about like a Peterbot fall off or anything? No, I mean, he literally only played 5 games, and if we look at the elim leaderboard, he still did finish with the most elims, getting 23 total elims, and then Threats also got a 2.2 damage ratio. What an insane NA tournament though. The last cash cup of the season, FNCS just got even more hyped. Now on EU, this was one of the closest, most confusing tournaments that we have had in a while, and definitely all season long. The winner of this tournament was literally a trio that was contested of Pix, Darm, and Demus. Now these guys finished with 309 points. They were not able to win a single game and finished with 34 total elims. If you look at their match history, they got a 4 elimination 11th, 3 elimination 27th, 9 elimination 4th, 4 elimination 3rd, 12 elimination 2nd, and a 2 elimination 5th. There were so many upsets in this cash cup, but the team to win the very final one of the season is a trio who literally just played in their first ever grand finals last season. What are my real expectations for this team? I'm honestly not 100% sure yet. Last season, we saw them come top 5 while being uncontested. They were also able to win a cash cup last season. I think this is one of the best up and coming teams in the entire world right now, and these guys are all three 100% the future of EU. Second place though, what a close leaderboard we have. Only 1 point behind them, getting 308 points, is one of the most underrated teams on the entire region of Pink, Nebs, and Kiro. This is now 2 tournaments in a row where they have placed inside the top 5. Last week they finished in 4th place, and then this week they were literally 1 point away from winning the whole entire tournament. I think a lot of people, including myself, have to start showing this trio a lot more respect. They're able to win 1 out of their 6 games today and finish with 29 total elims, and were the most consistent team of the day, getting an average placement of 6.8. 3rd place is a trio that could be really bad for you Mr. Savage fans out there. It is the team that is currently landing at Mass Meadows of Ferdoxy, Pablo, and Chino. Now these guys have completely uncontested Mass Meadows, and the thing that separates Ferdoxy from a lot of people is he is basically known as an off-spawn merchant, and now if he is also placing top 3 while being uncontested, he has no reason to leave that drop spot. And another thing that really surprised me about this trio is they finished with the most amount of elims in the entire tournament with 39. What does this actually mean for Mr. Savage, Rezon, and Video going forwards? I honestly have no clue. I don't think they're going to be able to do good in a grand finals when they're contested by Ferdoxy, who's one of the best off-spawn players, and this trio has just shown that they can get top 3 in a cash cup finals now as well. I don't necessarily want to say it's time to start pressing the panic button for Mr. Savage, but they are definitely going to have to cook up some very interesting strats going forward. This is a little like post-record edit right here, but I got blocked by Badil for basically saying this as well. I just want to let you guys know I did not mean this in any like negative connotation or anything. You guys know I am a huge Mr. Savage fan, and well, Badil, that's my bad. I would appreciate an unblock, but if not, I completely get it. 4th place is another trio that I honestly did not believe in too much. The duo that turned into a trio of Chap, Teeny, and Skavi. I am super happy for these guys though, because Chap and Teeny have both really been struggling to find like a good teammate options for this season, and so they just decided to get back together, finish top 4 in their first Cash Cup of the season. I don't really know what I feel like the real potential of this trio is. The thing with Teeny is we never know what his strategy is until the tournament actually starts, but still super good performance from them. 5th place was Thomas HG, Uppel, and Panzer on 273. I think this team come grand finals time is going to get even better than they currently are in Cash Cups. And then in 6th place, I think we have to say one of the more disappointing trios of the day of Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache. Now, a lot of people predicted these guys to either finish in 1st or 2nd. I had them in my 2nd place spot, and I even had a bunch of people roasting me saying, how are they not in your 1st place spot? These guys were uncontested for all 6 games today. Their match history was a 7 elimination 5th, 0 elimination 22nd, 9 elimination win, 1 elimination 10th, 1 elimination 25th, and a 4 elimination 2nd. So these guys weren't even like fragging out or nothing either. They only had an average elims of 3.6. I don't really know what has been going on with this trio ever since Murstache went on that vacation. The first 2 weeks of the season, they won back-to-back Cash Cups. Then Murstache went on that vacation. They came back the next week to not even qualifying, and then in the very final Cash Cup, they finished in 6th place. I think they do still have to be your FNCS favorites simply because of the fact on what is going on with Vico and Malibuca's trio, but they just really haven't shown too much signs of life recently, and I'm wondering if what we saw at the first 2 weeks of the season is going to be the peak of this trio. 7th place, another trio that was pretty disappointing today was Seti, Hari, and Cammy. They only finished with 231 total points. I expected this team to be like a top 3 trio since they were uncontested, and that is just not what happened. 8th place was Dinas, 9th was Akira, and then rounding out the top 10 was Della, Axforce, and Bevies on 204 points. That does mean that we have a lot of big name trios, and even some trios that people would say are the FNCS favorites outside of the top 10. Starting off with in 11th place is the brand new trio of Shark, Trulex, and Noah Riley. This team started off the tournament so good, getting a 2 elimination 4th, 6 elimination 10th, and then a 9 elimination 2nd. And then after that, they just really fell off from there, only finishing the tournament with 19 total elims. I don't necessarily want to say I was disappointed in this trio. This was just such a random Cash Cup all around that it is just so hard to project the new teams and how good they're actually going to be just based off of this one random tournament. I think these guys will still stick together for FNCS though, and I'm excited to see what they can cook up. 12th place is another trio that has been pretty disappointing recently of Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. They finished with only 182 points. Now their last 3 Cash Cups is a 15th place, and then the win, which was obviously super impressive, and now a 12th place. What is actually going on with this team? I really have no clue. We saw Pixie die in an unfortunate way in one of the games where they possibly could have ended up winning that game, and I know they literally did just win last week, but I just haven't seen super real consistency from this team pretty much all season long. 13th place was the trio that I predicted to win because they were supposed to be uncontested, and so literally today of Vico, Vino, and Flixie, these guys were contested for every single game today. If you look at their match history, this 13th place is basically off of one game getting a 19 elimination win. I think they went 2-2 off spawn, but most of the games they were literally just getting cleaned up. Some games even Margot was going there to try to clean them up. Lone Wolf Lair is just such a grief fest on EU right now. Vino has already been very vocal about not wanting to go back to Crime City. If he goes back to Mass Meadows, he's most likely going to be triple contested there. I really just don't know what these guys are going to do. I dropped Sky and Scroll, we're in 28th, and then the last trio I want to talk about is Focus, Mongrel, and Z Andy in 30th place, only getting 33 total points. Now these guys were contested for a couple of their games, and in the other games they were just trying different things because they were really struggling with Surge. Looking at their match history, it was a 3 elimination 23rd, 0 elimination 28th, 3 elimination 20th, 2 elimination 23rd, 0 elimination 31st, and a 3 elimination 29th. So these guys didn't have a single game inside of even the top 19 today. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be too surprised if these guys ended up splitting up. I think this trio does still have the potential to be a grand finals team. I think Margot and Z Andy will probably look for one, and then maybe they go back to like Prism or Casper, but I think Focus is 100% packing his bags and leaving this trio after this tournament. I wish these guys did stick together though, because Focus is such a crazy player, because I literally see Focus switch trios basically every single week at this point, and I think if he really just sticks with the team and grinds with them, then he can just get even better. Let's take a look at the final kin stats now though, and starting off with in 10th place is the Cash Cup winner getting 5,006 damage of Demas. 9th was Frantic, 8th was Marius, 7th was Pablo, 6th was Kiro. Going into the top 5 is Nebs in 5th on 5,908, Fourth is Murstache. Third is Swizzy. Second is Noah Riley. And then in first place, getting 6,964 is none other than the player with the best aim in all of EU and arguably the entire world of Thomas HD. Let's take a look at the stat leaders as well. The elim leaders today was tied between Chap and Pablo. Damage ratio was Kiro. And then Matt's farmed was Queasy. Other than that though, what a day of cash cups, man. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new as we try to upload daily competitive content on the channel for you guys. Please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says to enjoy one of these two videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at ChiliKDog to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.